Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Today, we're going to finally be playing our first games for the PS4 Road to Glory. We did end up starting off with a League One team, so from the selections that you guys will be seeing in the beginning, I should have chosen Gaia, guys. I should have chosen Gaia because I feel like he would have been a better player to have for the long haul, right? And I think I should have thought about that. So if you guys are starting this game out on the 28th or the 29th, I think it's coming on the 29th for you guys, be sure to choose a player you're going to use for a long time. All the players that you guys saw as the selections, I would never have used any of them. Gaia is a player I would have used for the future, and it was really dumb for me to choose Jovetic. So the reason why I chose Jovetic for the team was because I didn't really have a replacement cam for Cabela in the League One. But then after playing not a lot of games, because I played like 8 games so far from yesterday's stream, and I had to build a team and everything. I had to use Jovetic as my replacement cam. So that was my thought process towards getting him. But your thought process towards choosing your Champions League card should not be the team that you currently have. It should be a team that you can make in the future. Like some people got Gonzalo Guedes, Ousmane Dembele, Partey. Like these are incredible cards to get in a team because these are cards you can use in the future that are going to be very good. A Jovetic, I'm never going to use this card again because it's awful. His pace is just too slow. The 74 pace just isn't enough, right? So if you guys are going to choose a Champions League card, make sure that you choose something you're going to use in the long haul. We're going to talk about a few things today. We're going to talk about the gameplay. We're going to be talking about the menu stuff and my general thoughts so far on the first day of FIFA 19. So, gameplay thoughts. To be honest with you guys, the gameplay nowadays, it feels more relaxing, right? Is it perfect or is it by definition perfect? Not necessarily. There's a few things that definitely need to be patched and nerfed from a point of view that's not biased. For instance, the bicycle kicks. The bicycle kicks 100% need to be nerfed because they're basically lasers when the ball leaves the player's foot. I was trying to find an example of me streaming yesterday where I think it was Laporte or something that hit a bicycle with his left foot or his strong foot on the edge of the 18-yard box, and it just looks so unnatural because when the ball leaves the player's foot, it's just a bullet that hits the bar, right? And he almost scored that way because it's very, very accurate as well. So those definitely need to be nerfed because they're very, very effective. Crossing to a player that can hit a bicycle kick is very effective right now. But hopefully they do come up with a patch for it really quickly. Passing in general, I like the passing plays in the game. I think that the player's general movement is pretty nice. The dribbling is quite nice. I think every player is unique in their own way. It's kind of more noticeable this year when you have a player that is actually good at dribbling and a player that isn't good at dribbling. So if someone has like 78 dribbling and then someone has 85 dribbling, it feels like there's definitely more of a noticeable difference between the two, right? So for instance, up top as a striker, I need someone to have good dribbling. If they don't have good dribbling, then I won't be able to, do those little quick cuts so I can pass it to the sides, pass it back to the middle, so on and so forth. From the beginning squad that you guys are going to see, I was using CEO and I was using Musa. No, I don't know the guy's first name. I was using Dembele, the guy who plays as a striker in League One, and he wasn't very good at all. I really, really disliked him. I thought CEO was a better card than Dembele, which is interesting because I thought that Dembele would have been better than CEO, but he wasn't. So I was using Dembele, and the problem with Dembele is every time he touched the ball, it was always a heavy touch. His dribbling was awful. He wasn't quick enough for me to move with him so I can lay off the pass to the people making the runs on the sides because as you guys know, my left attacking mid and my right attacking mid is unbalanced, but they do make those runs pushing forward. So in the game, I was using low Neymars and stuff, and every time I wanted to lay the ball off to a low Neymar, I couldn't do it because Dembele himself took too long on the ball. CEO was a little bit different though. CEO as a League One striker in the beginning, he was decent because his positioning was pretty good. He didn't really feel like an annoyance in the team. His finishing was okay, although he does have the 3-star, which can be a problem at times, but it's not too big of a deal. Yeah, I enjoyed using CEO more than anything. Cabela was a decent cam. Jovetic was terrible because again the pace. Like I was through on goal 3 different times with Jovetic, and the center backs always caught up because 74 pace is not far off of like a 72 pace. Without the ball, right? Obviously, when you're without the ball, you're going to chase after the ball quicker than someone that has the ball, right? So Jovetic wasn't great. I was using Saliber. Saliber was okay on the right side. Choupo-Moting is actually a usable card this year, which is interesting because of the way that the pace works. It's they're usable, but they're not ideal, right? Like, someone like Neymar will always be better than someone like Choupo-Moting. Well, obviously, right? But like, I'm just saying from a point of view where he's slow, but his physical presence is noticeable in the game, and he doesn't feel like a nuisance in the team, right? So he actually plays pretty nicely. I was using the 4-2-3-1 with the narrow formation. I was using the one with the cams. Normally, when I start off the team, I will basically be on that version of the formation with the CDMs to stay back while attacking, and then the balance on the fullbacks. And then I have a defensive version of the formation where I have my fullbacks to stay back while attacking and my CDMs to stay back while attacking. And then I have the ultra defensive version where it's not the 4-2-3-1 narrow variation, but it's the 4-2-3-1 wide variation. And I basically tell my left mids, right mids to come back, CDMs to stay back, right fullbacks to stay back, and for my striker to play like a false nine, come back on defense, and for my cam to come back on defense. That's if I really need to be super defensive against somebody, right? The good thing about being defensive in this game is that if you think about it, the transition from defending to attacking, your players are close to you. You can't really go on a counter-attack, right? So that's the thing that you'll definitely notice. Can't go on a counter-attack, but when you get the ball back from the defense and you want to push forward, it actually works out really nicely. So that's with the 4-2-3-1. I have right now a different team, and that'll be in the next video. It'll be a La Liga or a Liga Santander team. It was a pretty decent price for the quality of players that you get. Obviously, right now in the beginning of the game, it's hard to kind of make a real meta team, but I think with the quality of players that we did end up getting in the team, I think it'll work out really nicely. It was worth like 70k-ish, so I would consider 70k-ish quite cheap because I did end up doing the advanced SBCs. Now, if you go to the option of advanced SBCs, if you do those SBCs, it is guaranteed profit, right? The one that is really guaranteed profit is the third one, right? Because the first one you need loyalty. So if you guys are spending money on the game and you're getting these pack pulled players, it'll be good for you because once you use those players, they'll already have loyalty, so you can put them in the team no problem. But as you guys know, I need to sell players right now to make the team that I want to make, because my first and foremost thing I need to do is do the gameplay stuff, right? At some point, I think I'm gonna do drafts, right? And when I do drafts, once I collect players from there, that's when I'll start to do the SBCs so I can gain some money back. And then the players that I don't need for SBCs, I'm probably just going to sell them so I can create a better team, right? But the first one is definitely worth it, the one that requires loyalty. And then the third one, my stream helped me out with. If you guys want to check out the past broadcasts to see the teams that I ended up using for those, it was very, very cheap. I bought everybody for the lowest price, but 2 players or 3 players for all 4 of the SBCs within that third SBC for the advanced SBC. I think it was it wasn't League of Nations, it was Advanced Leagues. I can't remember what it was called, but it was a third one in advanced. That's what I'm going to bring up. So definitely do those SBCs. I made a lot of money from it. So right now, I think my team would be sitting on top of 100k. So I haven't sold everybody again because of the SBCs. So if I did sell everybody, right, I have some 83 rated cards in there, some players here and there that will sell for a good amount. They would be really helpful. But I'm trying to see if I can slowly but surely progress to getting players for those SBCs. So that's why I haven't really been selling too much. But I made a decent team with the Liga Santander, so I will be showing you guys that in the next video. It starts off with a 4-2-4. 4-2-4 is nice because if you want to use a 4-2-3-1 in game, you can actually do that because you have the 4 attackers already set up, right? So your 4 attackers should be people that have pace, dribbling, shooting, passing, so on and so forth, as much as possible, right? They don't really have necessarily the passing because some of them are like 73 passing, 74 passing, so not necessarily great, but I have good strong foot on the on the perfect sides, so on and so forth. So, you know, left-footed left side, right-footed right side, blah, 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 right? Although, cutting inside and finessing it far post is kind of useful in this game, and finessing it in general is kind of useful. Like, if you're outside the 18-yard box, and your player is good at the long shots, the shooting in general, and you do a finesse shot from there, he'll score most of the opportunities. Like, you'll notice one of the goals that I conceded against one of my opponents, he had the ball with Rashford because I gave the ball away from an A pass or an X pass, and he just finessed it past my goalkeeper to the right side. So be very careful with those. If someone is setting up for a finesse shot outside the 18-yard box and they're free, always go ahead and attack them because it's basically a free shot for them. So you actually have to use your CDM or your center back and commit to them so you can defend against it properly, right? Defending in this game, it's interesting because it's like a 50-50 right now. So defending in this game is okay for me personally, but I think that I 100% see where people are coming from when they say that defensive AI is overpowered still. Now, it's not as overpowered as it was last year, right? So the way that the defensive AI works this year is that you still need to make tackles yourself, but the defenders, you can honestly just hold A or X and just basically block around the general area of the attacker, right? So it's still somewhat effective, especially if you use really defensive tactics. Like, I noticed that I attacked better and defended better when I switched to my ultra defensive tactics, the one that tells my strikers and stuff to come back on the defense, than when I had it on attacking, where I have the fullbacks pushing up, so on and so forth. So it's weird right now because I don't know exactly how I feel about defensive AI, but if they were to nerf it and it was more manual, it wouldn't necessarily be a bother for me. But the bicycle kicks, they definitely need to be patched, right? Times finishing, I haven't used time finishing at all in this game. A lot of my finishes, or a lot of the finishing that I've done so far in this game, has resulted from regular B shots, to be honest, because sometimes the finesse shots in general from inside the 18-yard box are a little bit inconsistent. I think a big reason for that, though, is because I don't necessarily have good players yet. So if I have players that have, like, at the very minimum, like 84 finishing, good shot power and stuff, maybe they finish those opportunities more. But I had a few opportunities where I was inside the 18-yard box, I did a finesse shot, and it didn't work. Now, again, I have been using just regular B shots, and they've been working out quite nicely, to be honest. Like, I haven't really been finessing it too much. They just work out nicely. Something that also needs to be patched is when you want to do a driven shot, or just a power shot in general, sometimes there's an animation in FIFA where your players actually do a side foot shot instead. So obviously you don't want to do that shot across goal. Most of the times you do want to, like, if you're doing that shot across goal, that should be a command that you're doing, right? So for instance, if you're finessing it, but you're doing a low finesse with low power, because that's how it works nowadays, there's no driven finesse shots anymore. You would basically you don't put too much power into the shot, but then you would finesse it to the left side, but obviously the power isn't there. But a driven shot, like actually doing the commands of R1, L1, and circle with a thumbstick aiming upwards or downwards, they will sometimes do a side-footed shot, and people have been complaining about that, and that's another very valid point, right? The pace thing, I don't necessarily see a problem with the pace, because people said that the attackers need to be quicker. I don't necessarily see a problem with it because when I used Neymar was faster than a lot of people, generally speaking. Because I don't know, man. For me personally, I might be in the minority here, but I like the way that the pace is set up right now, because Neymar will still pass someone if he deserves to pass them most of the times, right? Because what this does is that it makes more players usable. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, right? A player that has 69 or 68 or 67 pace with good defending and physical stats feels more usable in this game now, right? And that's important because players like Godin, who's one of the best center backs in the world right now, underrated in my opinion, is a usable card, right? Even though he doesn't have like 70-something pace. He may, I haven't seen his card this year, but I think because from previous years he's had 60-something pace. He's more usable now, and his defensive qualities definitely show up a little bit more, right? There's this balance conversation being done with people where they're talking about whether it makes sense to have defensive AI be effective, but finishing being more random. Because I think the biggest issue that people have right now is the finishing in the game. The finishing in the game, for me, I don't necessarily see too many big problems with it. But I can see where people come from, because some of the finishes that I do are a little bit more random, and I feel like it needs to be more skilled. But I don't think the time finishing is the right thing. I don't think they did the time finishing perfectly yet, to be honest. I feel like they might do a patch to change it up a tiny bit, but obviously to not make it too overpowered, because then that'll just be ridiculous, right? Because again, so far I've just been using regular B shots, and there are certain shots where I'll try to hit the ball to a certain side, but it won't hit that side. Like, taking your time and controlling the ball properly is what's going to help you score in this game, right? Because again, when you do regular B shots, they sometimes do finesse shots for you, right? So it has to be a choice whether or not you want to do a finesse shot or you want to do a regular power shot. Trying to think about anything else that I want to talk about gameplay related wise. Heading in this game is effective too. I haven't really considered too much of them, to be honest with you. I think I have like competent center backs right now. Like right now in my La Liga team, I'll just tell you guys the center back. I have Longley and I forgot the Gabriel Paulista. So not too bad of center backs to have in those situations. But if I notice that people are scoring a lot of crosses against me, I think there's actually an in-game tactic, or I could just switch to my tactics to be more defensive, so I can have a lot of people inside the box so that I don't concede them as much, right? So I feel like because of dynamic tactics, there's just ways of being able to counter someone in style, right? So that's the way that I always think about it when I'm playing FIFA so far, right? Because right now I was playing one really close game with somebody, and it was a sick game. My stream really liked watching this game because it was a good player. He had a good team, to be fair, but it was one of those really tight games. If I didn't have Neymar on the team, I would never have scored this opportunity because of the way that the skill moves, the quickness that he has. Neymar is ridiculous in this game. Absolutely love him. Can't wait to grind out my team so I can get the better players. With Neymar, I did a spin, it was like a McGeady spin, or the new spin from last year. I did a ball roll, nice little wide pass with the outside of his foot. The guy was through on goal, laid it off to the side, scored a really nice goal, right? It was just a good build-up play. CO made a good run, Cabela was in a good position. It was a really nice goal, right? But in regards to everything gameplay related, to be honest with you guys, like I said, and I was saying this in my streams, the game feels more relaxing to play and not as aggravating to play, if that makes more sense. Like it was cool because so far, and I've only played 8 games, I haven't really experienced the game so far. I played 8 games in FIFA, and they all felt the same, right? The only thing that affected games was the lag, and obviously that's always going to be a thing in FIFA. Lag will always affect your gameplay. And lag shouldn't really be a thing nowadays because, you know, 2018, right? Lag should never be a thing nowadays. If people see lag in Fortnite, they go nuts, right? But other than that, I don't really have too much complaints. I think what they did with the menu stuff this year, the change in FUT Champs, was awesome because you can literally finish Silver 3 now. If you finish Silver 3 and you played 30 games, it was worth the time, right? Because obviously 11 games isn't good enough for you to get like really, really good rewards, but it's good enough for you to be like, that was good enough, you know? Because people told me that there's no monthly rewards now. So because there's no monthly rewards, you can just play it weekly now, right? Because the stress of FUT Champs last year, a lot of it was based off of monthlies, right? So if you monthlies and the concept of 40 games, if you know, had 2 weekends where you win 35 wins, where you're like, I really don't want to play these 2 weekends, but then I'm missing out on monthly rewards. You're not going to be missing out on monthly rewards nowadays. And I could be wrong. This is what my chat told me. My Twitter timeline is completely muted of FIFA content, so I don't see these things, right? Because I like to know it from my stream. Yeah, it's 30 games now, so you can get 27 wins out of 30 to get Elite 1, but obviously that's probably not going to be... Well, hey, we don't know, man, because 30 games, the matchmaking will be different. I think it'll be harder, so every game you play will be very tough, but it's just relaxing the fact that you can play 10 games a day now, and just makes the game better because you don't necessarily have to play FUT Champs and feel like you're missing out. Are you missing out on special cards and decent rewards? Yeah, you definitely are, but FUT Rivals is already really fun, so there's a good compensation for both, right? And then there's also the fun game mode where there's FUT Draft, and FUT Draft is a game mode where you can just use different formations, different players, and just have fun with it, right? So I think in regards to the menu stuff, there's a decent balance. Like I said, if you hit Silver 3 in FUT Champs this year, it has like a good balance, right, of decent rewards and worth the playtime. Because Elite 3 for the new FUT Champs, the rewards are almost as good as top 100, right? That's how good it is that it's good that they did this because they're not separating the community when they do this, right? Because in previous years of FUT Champs, you're really separating the community because only the good players, right, will get the good rewards. And that was always a problem because you separate the community like that. A player who is average or above average in the game should still be able to get some decent rewards from playing the 30 games because honestly, last year, in my opinion, and I always told people this, if you didn't get Gold 1, which is 26 out of 40 wins, which is not an easy thing to do at all, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth you playing the 40 games. 40 games in 3 days over the course of the weekend, it wasn't worth it. The cool thing about 30 games now is that if you want to play 15 games a day, like you have the time to do that, and you have one of the weekends where you need to do something, like for instance, you play the Friday, you play your 15 games. Saturday, you're busy, you're doing stuff for the weekend, you're chilling, you're hanging out with your friends, blah, blah, blah. Sunday, you're not doing anything again, you play the rest of your games. You don't have to necessarily do it because now that FUT Divisions is a thing, it's just fun that way, right? Because you don't necessarily have to play FUT Champs. You can just play FUT Rivals. If you don't want to play FUT Rivals, you can go play FUT Drafts, right? FUT Drafts, the thing that'll always be the annoying thing is that you have to pay to play FUT Drafts. It's not like a free game mode, right? Which makes sense, obviously, because of the pack rewards. But you do have to pay 15K to play FUT Drafts. But I don't know, man. Making coins nowadays in FIFA is so much easier because I already had 80K in the course of 8 games and then doing advanced SBCs to get all these players. So it's not necessarily an issue. Like I think I have 20K right now after making my La Liga team, and that's perfect because I can go play a draft for fun if I really want to. And if I win 2 games, the rewards that you get back will be quite decent. I think in the next stream, I'm probably going to be grinding out FUT Divisions because I think today is the last day in regards to being able to get up to rank 1 so that I can get some decent rewards for you guys to open. I don't know if I'm going to be getting the pack awards or the corner awards. I'm like locked in one because I think content related wise, it makes more sense for me to open the pack ones because the coin ones, but the coin ones is guaranteed. I don't know. Me, I'm more of a guaranteed type person because we know that the pack weight is a little bit iffy at times, right? So I'd rather be guaranteed than a chance. But the chance is more, it's just fun. It's just more fun than it is to just get the coin awards. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing yet. You guys got to let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think I should do when it comes to the FUT Division awards. So I'm not really sure exactly how I'm going to do all that just yet. But if you guys have any questions, FIFA related wise, or my opinions on certain situations, be sure to leave a comment down below in this YouTube video. I will be responding to it for the next video because I like talking about FIFA related stuff as I show you guys all the Road to Glory stuff. The Road to Glory is going well so far. I'm enjoying the game for what it is so far. First day, not too bad. I experienced this same thing for FIFA 18, but after a few weeks, that's when we're going to truly judge the game because they're going to do the patches, and then we're going to see what the game is actually like. I would say 2 months after the game. That's the important time. 2 months after the game, that's when we're going to truly judge it. But right now, where we stand, I think the game is pretty good so far. But I'm going to go ahead and show you the packs that I did end up opening for the advanced SBCs. They're pretty good. The last one in particular was really nice. Really, really nice. But thank you guys so much for watching the video. I am going to be continuing this Road to Glory series. So if you guys do enjoy the video, please drop a thumbs up on it. Definitely helps out the channel a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.